Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 TV shows everyone should watch at least once.
It all looks so beautiful.
For this list, we'll be looking at scripted and narrative programs that are universally agreed to be essential viewing. If you haven't seen all of these great stories, watch out for minor spoilers ahead. Have you missed out on any of these shows? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Batman the Animated Series. 90s kids everywhere know the joy of watching Batman the Animated Series. Made after the success of Tim Burton's Batman, it aired 85 episodes between 1992 and 1995. Like Burton's film, the animated series employed a moody and grim tone. It's also full of gorgeous animation and comes equipped with a stellar soundtrack. In fact, the main theme was composed by the legendary Danny Elfman. Despite airing on Fox Kids, Batman attracted an older audience through its mature storytelling. It also went on to win Emmys for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program and Outstanding Animated Program. Plus, how cool are Mark Hamill's Joker and Kevin Conroy's Batman? Their performances alone are worth watching the show for.
For it was the Batman who made me the happy soul I am today. How I agonized over the perfect way to thank him for that.
Number 19, The Leftovers. Many fans and critics compare The Leftovers to Lost, both for the involvement of showrunner Damon Lindelof and for the unique mystery at the heart of the story. The Leftovers doesn't concern a magic island, but the random disappearance of 2% of the world's population.
You've lost someone, yes? Someone's.
Unlike Lost, the mystery of The Leftovers isn't really the point. It's merely a vehicle to explore the characters and the themes.
Have you been noticing that I've been, kind of losing my mind?
What?
The show never really took off, owing to a somewhat rickety first season, but the second and third seasons were so beautiful and well made that critics began regarding The Leftovers as one of the greatest shows ever made. It only lasts 28 episodes, so there's no good excuse for ignoring it.
Where's my book?
I threw it overboard.
Oh. It was just getting good.
Number 18, The Twilight Zone. Although it mainly aired in the 60s, the original run of The Twilight Zone is still relevant today. This classic piece of television famously featured a collection of surreal or unsettling stories.
A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. That's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Each week, viewers were treated to cautionary episodes about everything from science fiction to paranoia. Horror stories such as Eye of the Beholder, To Serve Man, and Nightmare at 20,000 Feet have all become iconic tales within the genre. The show was also fortunate enough to feature Rod Serling's incredible narration, and its anthology format makes it incredibly easy to jump into. Whether you see it more as a piece of still relevant social commentary or straightforward horror, The Twilight Zone delivers.
For happily, tangible manifestation is very often left as evidence of trespass, even from so intangible a quarter as the Twilight Zone.
Number 17, I Love Lucy. This sitcom holds a strong place in the history of television. Throughout this comedy, we saw the wacky title character navigate life with her husband while trying to make it as a star.
Oh, gee, I'm glad you're home. How's about a great big... I'll see you later.
While the setup sounds straightforward, the show popularized several major TV staples. I Love Lucy's live studio audience, ensemble cast, and incorporation of reruns all revolutionized the industry. And the humor is so timeless that longtime fans still might fall out of their chairs laughing at some of the bits. Lucille Ball got a Governor's Award from the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences for her work on the series. Since I Love Lucy still makes lists for top programs of all time, we think that award was definitely deserved.
Hey, honey, this bed doesn't look too bad. Hope it isn't hard.
Number 16, Rick and Morty. Few animated shows captured the zeitgeist of the 2010s quite like Rick and Morty.
Morty, you gotta, come on. You gotta come with me.
What, Rick? What's going on?
I got a surprise for you,
It's the middle
Morty.
of the night. What are you talking about?
Come on, I got a surprise for you. Come on, hurry up.
The program excelled at parodying contemporary pop culture trends, movies, and celebrities. At the same time, it also has complex writing, enjoyable character relationships, and even some philosophical musings. The show's unique animation style often makes it a visual treat for the eyes too. Plus, all the dimension and reality hopping is a ton of fun to watch. It was fascinating to watch this experimental show become a popular and beloved comedy in just a few years. Whether you're looking for a laugh or want to contemplate the universe's biggest questions, Rick and Morty is the Schwifty show for you.
Sorry, what?
Am I the clone? Did the real me choose to leave? And I only think I chose to stay because that's what I need to think because I'm the replacement, Beth?
No.
Number 15, Stranger Things. Standing as the Netflix show that could, Stranger Things was an instant hit that's arguably the service's defining program.
Guys, I really think we should turn back.
Seriously, Dustin? You want to be a baby? Then go home already.
I'm just being realistic, Lucas.
No, you're just being a big sissy.
What started as a show about a group of kids looking for their missing friend became a series about demonic creatures, dangerous dimensions, and delicious waffles. The first thing that viewers took note of was its beautifully recreated 80s setting and Spielbergian flair. However, what ultimately kept people engrossed was the brilliant cast of characters. David Harbour's Hopper, Sadie Sink's Max, and Millie Bobby Brown's Eleven each became pop culture icons. They helped the show dominate streaming charts and reminded us how much fun TV can be when everyone watches together.
Told ya.
Number 14, Band of Brothers. This war-themed drama may be one of the greatest miniseries ever created. Band of Brothers recounts the true story of Easy Company and the challenges they encountered in occupied Europe.
Tell him what you always tell him. Our sons died as heroes.
You really still believe that?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
At the time, the show stood out across the TV landscape for its incredible and cinematic production values. It still looks stunning to revisit today. The show's epic scope and distinct characters also make it easy to get engrossed in. At the heart of it all lies a deeply moving story that feels more urgent because of the presence of real Easy Company veterans.
Grandpa said no. But I served in a company of heroes.
This brilliant band of brothers is one of the best depictions of war you'll find on television. Number 13, Friends. There are sitcoms and then there's Friends. This show defied its constraints as a network sitcom and became one of the biggest cultural events, well, ever. The program dominated the public discourse of the 90s and early 2000s. Along the way, it gave rise to still popular actors, classic hairstyles, and iconic catchphrases. Who amongst us hasn't jokingly yelled, "Pivot!" while moving a heavy piece of furniture?
Pivot! 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 Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
A ratings behemoth, there was simply no stopping Friends at the height of its power. It gave voice to a generation, legitimized the characters' untraditional domestic lives, and popularized the hangout sitcom. The modern TV landscape simply wouldn't be the same without Friends.
And the craziest thing is now my boss likes me because I told her about it and she said it was the best gossip she'd heard all year.
I am proud of all my friends today.
Number 12, 6 Feet Under. This HBO drama follows the Fisher family as they run a funeral home and help their clients process their recent losses.
God damn it, I hooked it!
It contains a slew of talented performers and some of the best writing ever seen on television. 6 Feet Under is complex, touching, thematic, and very hard-hitting, with ruminations on grief and sorrow often at the forefront. Throughout its historic run, it was a heavy Emmy favorite. It ended up earning 3 nominations for Outstanding Drama Series. 6 Feet Under was also a rare show that kept its quality consistent from the first episode to its spectacular series finale. Never has a show about death been so enjoyable to watch.
Can't take a picture of this, it's already gone.
Number 11, Mad Men. Mad Men is a deeply humane character study that explores concepts of loneliness, identity, and the elusive nature of happiness. And it somehow does all of this within the walls of an advertising agency.
Oh. I think it's broken.
You can hear that?
I can't hear anything. I think it's broken.
At times, Mad Men can come off as a hilarious workplace comedy. It helps that the show is full of memorable characters that spout some of the sharpest dialogue in TV history. But it can also dive deep into drama and the various social obstacles of the time period. When it's not serving an academic study into the culture-shattering movements and advances of the 1960s, it's an unbelievably stylish show filled with slick styles, great music, and mesmerizing performances. Whatever you want it to be, Mad Men excels at it.
I only called because I realized I never said goodbye to you.
Number 10, The Office.
All right, my turn. My turn.
This mockumentary remains incredibly popular, and for good reason. It's both very funny and very comforting.
Knock it off, okay? I'm interviewing you. No, you said that I'd be conducting the interview when I walked in here. Now, exactly how much pot did you smoke?
Set in the office of a Pennsylvania paper company, The Office became enormously successful thanks to its sharp writing, relatable setting, and brilliant performances, particularly that of Steve Carell as the bumbling, offensive, but ultimately well-meaning Michael Scott.
Here we go. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Buddha.
Buddha who?
Buddha the spread for me, won't you?
Great.
Unlike the more abrasive UK original, this American remake makes for a relatively warm and cheerful watch. Watching each episode is like revisiting a family. Various shows of this mockumentary style popped up throughout the late 2000s and early 2010s, but none were as good as The Office.
I can't stop this investigation. It is my job.
Whoa, you are a volunteer.
I volunteered for this job.
And that's not the same.
It is my duty.
Volunteer duty.
To investigate the crime scene.
Number 9, MASH. This landmark show is considered to be one of the best mashups of comedy and drama ever seen on television.
It was a baby! She smothered her own baby!
The story takes place during the Korean War and follows a group of characters who work in the 4077th Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. While events could certainly get dramatic, the show could also effortlessly shift to lighter tones on a dime. This allowed the story to tackle hard-hitting issues without always seeming bleak. Its all-star cast is also legendary. Characters like Hawkeye, Radar, and Henry Blake all felt like old friends to viewers by the time the series ended. We also have to address the iconic final episode, Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen, which remains the most watched episode of scripted television with 106 million viewers.
May they have a long, wonderful life filled with love and peace. And so may we all.
Number 8, Lost.
Did anybody see that?
Yeah.
Regardless of its infamous ending, Lost is required TV viewing. Following survivors of a plane crash on a mysterious island, it managed to keep viewers guessing throughout its 6-season run. Unfortunately, something is lost, while streaming the show today. A huge part of the allure was going online and discussing the endless theories and studiously analyzing every last pixel of a given screenshot. But even without the real-time excitement of online discussions, Lost makes for stellar viewing thanks to its standout cast and character writing, cinematic production values, and of course, the sense of adventure at its heart. Lost may have infamously fumbled the landing, but there's still nothing else like it on TV. When Lost is on top of its game, it's spectacular.
I don't know where I am, but
I'll find you, Des.
I promise.
No matter what.
I'll come back to you.
I won't give up.
I promise.
I promise. I love you.
Number 7, The Simpsons. The Simpsons is so great and so institutionalized in the pop culture consciousness that it cannot possibly be ignored.
I'm beginning to think that Homer Simpson was not the brilliant tactician I thought he was.
It may be the most important and influential TV show of all time, especially regarding the explosion of animated sitcoms that followed, and its lovable cast of characters have become iconic.
Grandpa is still with us, feisty as ever. Maggie is walking by herself. Lisa got straight A's. And Bart, well, We love Bart. The magic of the season.
Bart has been included on the Time 100 list, and The Simpsons have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Add in the wider cast of Springfield and some of the smartest and funniest writing on TV, and you have the greatest animated sitcom ever made.
Hey! Damn! They're very slowly getting away!
They're heading for the old mill!
No, we're not!
Well, let's go to the old mill anyway! Get some cider!
Number 6. Avatar: The Last Airbender. The great thing about Nickelodeon's Avatar is that anyone can enjoy it. Yes, it aired on Nickelodeon and was made primarily for children, but it contains so many great themes, characters, and stories that adults can enjoy it as well. While each episode typically portrays a self-contained story of its own, there's also an overarching plot that sees Avatar Aang learning to control the elements so he can defeat the Fire Nation. Aside from the remarkable storytelling, the show is also rife with humor and fantastic production values, which includes gorgeous animation and epic music. Number 5. The Wire. This expansive crime drama was created and primarily written by David Simon, who worked at the Baltimore Sun for 13 years. He spent most of that time covering crime, and it's there that he learned the inner workings of a typical American city. He used his knowledge to write The Wire.
Miss Snot Boogie always stole the money. Why'd you let him play? Got to. This America, man.
Unlike most crime dramas, The Wire isn't really concerned with telling an exciting story, although it does certainly do that. Rather, it's more interested in exploring how disparate parts of a city, like the police force, politics, streets, schools, and media, come together to form a whole.
Unbelievable.
The show has garnered immense acclaim for its realism and literary ambitions, and watching it at least once is an absolute must.
The hell with Norris. You my real partner, Lester. My life partner.
Don't tease, bitch.
Number 4. Twin Peaks. Most things from David Lynch are worth experiencing, even if they leave you feeling confused and kind of icky.
The owls are not what they seem.
Following a string of classics like Eraserhead, The Elephant Man, and Blue Velvet, Lynch turned to television and released Twin Peaks through ABC. It was unlike anything seen on TV at the time, and it's still unlike anything seen on TV.
Are you Laura Palmer?
Hey, feel quiet. No, we're some stars.
Like most of Lynch's work, Twin Peaks is bizarre and nightmarishly surreal, and while it begins as an offbeat detective story about a recently murdered teenager, it soon spirals into outright insanity. It's hard to define Twin Peaks because Twin Peaks can't really be compared to anything. It's Twin Peaks, and that's what makes it so memorable. Number 3. Game of Thrones. Based on George R.R. Martin's fantasy series, A Song of Ice and Fire, Game of Thrones changed television forever. Chronicling a war for control of the fictional Seven Kingdoms, the show was filled with fantastic storytelling, rich world building, and a stellar cast of unforgettable characters. It also featured unbelievable production values. Game of Thrones effectively bridged the divide between television and film with its sets, visual effects, and epic scope. And sequences like Hardhome and the Battle of the Bastards will remain firmly ingrained in our collective pop culture consciousness. At a time when streaming was fragmenting TV, Game of Thrones got everyone talking and tuning in week after week. Number 2. The Sopranos. Most of the dramas mentioned on this list wouldn't have been made if it wasn't for The Sopranos. On the surface, this show details the criminal and personal lives of a specific Italian-American mob family, particularly that of its leader, Tony Soprano.
I'm sorry, Tony. I bet you are.
But while the mob stuff is obviously great, The Sopranos was always more interested in exploring more mundane yet universal themes around psychology, generational divides, and family.
Is this all there is?
Like a great American novel, it tells one specific story while also touching on a wide range of concepts relating back to the human condition. It also helps that the show is very funny, and it could even be considered a workplace comedy of sorts.
There are millions of dollars at stake. Again with the money? Yeah, again with the money.
It has a little bit of everything, and it does everything masterfully. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Breaking Bad. No other TV show has ever matched the sheer intensity of Breaking Bad.
I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Except maybe its surprisingly excellent prequel, Better Call Saul.
But not our Jimmy. Couldn't be precious Jimmy. Stealing them blind. And he gets to be a lawyer? What a sick joke.
Like a great crime novel, Breaking Bad is a true page-turner, or at least the TV equivalent, thanks to absolutely relentless cliffhangers. Telling the story of a high school chemistry teacher with terminal cancer who starts producing meth to provide for his family, Breaking Bad is a tale of intrigue and suspense.
You might want to hold off.
Yeah? Why? Because your boss is gonna need me.
Its ambitious narrative succeeds thanks to stellar character development, award-winning acting, gorgeous and inventive cinematography, a unique setting in Albuquerque, and some gut-busting humor.
What are we building? You said it yourself. A robot?
Every aspect of its production is masterful, and it can be regarded as the prime example of how a television show should be made. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.